being the participating subjects of a documentary does require sort of self-reflectiveness, if that's actually a word. Were there any sort of epiphanies or revelations that you guys came to on your own from having to talk about some of the great and not so great of your friendship and working relationship over the years?
I think there was a lot of moments watching the thing that were very interesting to watch years later. But I think when you have a 20-year career, go back and look at moments and kind of try to feel like what you try to remember what you felt like. It's just ultimately my takeaway is just like how positive I feel to be where we are now. Like we've worked through a lot of shit.
Yeah. What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Sort of self-reflectiveness that comes into being the subject of a documentary. Any epiphanies or revelations that you came to from talking about the good and the bad?
Mostly that is uncomfortable at times and like very squirm-worthy. And I like to focus on the future and the present and being creative. And I'm glad I don't have to make another documentary.
Why are you optimistic about the future?
Because I feel like we're kind of lockstep where we're at creatively in a really good place. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, same thing. I differ from Dan on that, where I feel like it's good for me to kind of to pay attention to what's happened. So I think it puts our music in a deeper context. So.
Did you have a question, or do you want me to ask one?
Yeah.
More?
Hi, Malia with KVU. Nice to meet you guys.
How you doing?
Good. What about the Austin music industry? You guys have performed here before. What do you think about the energy here in Austin?
It's one of a kind,
yeah.
one of a kind city. When was the last time we heard sound like that?
We haven't been here since 2010.
It's a long time. A lot has
Very
changed.
different.
Yeah? Yeah, a big change. What do y'all think of, I was watching an interview of you guys a long 10 years ago or so. What do you think about seeing the difference of you guys from back then to now? You're on red carpets. You're doing an interview in bed, just chilling, talking as buddies. Now to this. What do you think of that?
As Dan was trying to say earlier, it's like watching the old footage and watching old interviews. Like it's always hard for us to watch ourselves, even on stage. It's just like, if there's a pretty well documented hour-long conversation between Dan and I and an interviewer, we probably disagree with 30% of what we're saying. It's hard, but it's cool. But I think it's important for people to see it.
Yeah.
Last question from you guys. Y'all have been at this for going on 3 decades now. Lots of good, lots of bad, and that's the case with any friendship, relationship, working relationship. Certainly, what's the key to maintaining it through all?
Well, I think there's a lot of luck involved. We were lucky that we grew up around the television show, and we had this magical connection. And it's the thing that's really powered us through everything. It's this a special bond. It's like we won the lottery, being placed a block from each other as kids. I think that's what you see in the film.
Yeah. I think
That's like the most. It's always going to be the most important thing for us. We're very blessed that way.
I agree with that. I think, in fact, I think finding the person to go on the adventure with, to do the projects with, that's the hardest part. Most people never find that person.
Where does BoJack Horseman theme rank amongst your all-time favorite creations?
It was just something I did for fun, but I'm glad it worked out because I got to make that with my Uncle Ralph. And it's cool because the only piece of music we ever finished, and it's that's it. It's just gonna be that one thing.
Thank you so much for the time, guys. Congratulations on this.
Thank you.